Into our Sukhasana. Perhaps you're seated on a block or a folded blanket. Let's ground down through your sit bones and lengthen through your spine. Reach up with your crown. Let's roll your shoulders up towards your ears and then slide them down and away, palms face up. Perhaps your ring finger and thumb touching. The stomach and spleen meridians are associated with the element of earth. They're called the digest and absorb pair. So we'll be grounding in our practice today. Let's take the first few moments of our practice to settle into our bodies, arrive on our mats, and leave the day behind. Take this opportunity to observe the flow of your breath, the natural rhythm of your breath, the richness and nourishment that your breath brings to you. As you inhale, feel the coolness of the air entering and traveling the length of your body. As you exhale, notice the journey of the breath, leaving your body much warmer than when it arrived. Inhaling through your nose, allowing your belly, ribs, chest to expand and rise with the in-breath. Exhaling through your nose, allowing the navel to draw back to the spine, ribs, chest, curl and fall. Inhaling, expanding, filling, creating space. Exhaling, contracting, releasing, surrendering. Breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. Breathing in, I arrive in my body in this present moment. Breathing out, I let go of the day, my worries, surrendering that which no longer serves. Breathing in, I am filled with love and light. Breathing out, I release and let go of darkness and shadows. Breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. Release this deep yogic breath, returning to your natural pace. Inhale through your nose and exhale through open mouth to release and let go of the breath. Twice more, inhaling through your nose, discharging the breath through open mouth, making an audible sigh as you do. I invite you one more time. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through open mouth to wash out the breath. Bringing your hands together at your heart center in Namaskar. Opening our practice with 3 Oms, the primordial vibration of the universe. Inhale fully to prepare. Om. Inhale. Om. Inhale. Om. Hands to your eyebrow center. Namaste and welcome. Welcome, yogis, for your slow down, rest and reset yin practice. We're working with our stomach and spleen. So the stomach meridian starts underneath our eye and travels down through our throat, all the way along our chest, down the middle of our abdomen, and then all the way along the front of our leg, ending at the second toe. So that's the journey of the stomach meridian. Our spleen meridian, that starts just under here, and it travels around our chest and then along the outside of our rib cage here. So it's further out than the spleen, the stomach. The stomach's in the middle and the spleen is on the outside here. Again, sort of weaves its way here across our lower abdomen and then travels down the inside of our leg, ending all the way in our big toe. So, and then sort of traveling that way as well. So it's traveling the full length of our body, these two meridians. So we'll be doing twists. We'll be working our inner legs, our hip flexors to stimulate, activate, and cleanse these meridians, these channels of energy or chi. The kind of qualities that are associated with these are anxiety, when we are tormented by thoughts or troubled by repetitive patterns of thinking, insomnia, particularly with the stomach meridian. And then with the spleen meridian, it's often where we become very inward looking. But this encourages us to be more outward looking and to have empathy for others. So you know that kind of introspective aspect that we have that can make us very insular, very isolated and removed from others. Then these two meridians can, out of balance, encourage imbalance in that. What we want to encourage is a little bit more opening, more outward looking, a little bit more optimism and positivity, and we know we all need that right now. So our first pose is going to be butterfly. You're invited to have your blanket on the earth underneath your body so it feels nice and warm for you if you would like to have that sense of warmth. So you can just have your blanket here underneath you and then bring your soles of your feet together. I'm going to stay on my cork mat because that's warm enough for me. Have your bolster close by because we will be using our bolster. Now before we come into our folded butterfly, I'm going to ask you to find your spleen, an acupressure point. And the one we're looking for today is spleen 6. Now that's on the inside of our leg, so it doesn't matter which leg you choose. Take 4 fingers, find your ankle, and then about 4 fingers above your ankle, you just feel along that little ridge. So you have your shin and you can feel your shin bone. And on the inside of your shin bone, so about there, take a look where I am, you'll find a spot that feels quite tender to the touch. So mine is just kind of there. And I can feel it there because when I press there, I feel tenderness. So I want you to feel along that shin bone there on the inside of your lower leg and see if you can find that tender spot. And then with 2 fingers, press down gently on acupressure spleen 6. This is also called the sea of nourishment. This point here helps to release empathy. It helps us to release that sense of self-centeredness, that focus on the inner self, and helps us to look outward. This helps to balance that obsessive thinking that we have. So let's press down on this point. We'll press on here for about 30 seconds to a minute. You can do both sides if you really want to, but in traditional Chinese medicine, you only need to work with one side of the meridian. You don't need to work with it. They run in parallel, so you can just work with one and they affect the energy over your whole body. So here on my right leg, it feels very tender. On my left leg, it's less tender. So I'm going to press the one that feels more tender. And you might want to connect with your mantra or an affirmation here, a release and let go of obsessive thoughts. I seek to have empathy for others. I digest and understand the experience that others have. My thoughts are to help others seek happiness. There'll be a whole range of mantras or affirmations that connect in particular with this sense of looking outward. And you maintained this even pressure on your acupressure point 6. Let's release that gently, and perhaps you might want to give it a little rub if it was feeling very tender. Now create lots of space. Have a generous diamond here between your heels and your pelvic area. I'm going to invite you to either have your bolster ready or your large pillow. What we want to do is create a little platform. So your bolster can be at an angle and you can rest your eyebrows center on your bolster. You can create a little platform, so you could place some cushions or pillows and then have your bolster on top, and that will raise it, and then you can rest your eyebrow center on your bolster in that way. So lift your bolster. It will either be on the earth at an angle, or you'll have some cushions or your bricks underneath it so that you create a little bridge. So if you are fortunate enough to have some bricks at home, or perhaps anything that's large, you can always create a little bridge like this, where you place your bolster on a little platform and then rest your eyebrow center. So there's many options of helping you lift your bolster to bring the earth closer to you. You can also just hang out here without a bolster or bricks, in which case you allow your neck, shoulders and head to soften. So this deep forward fold is working on your stomach and spleen meridians. So you know that by folding forward, we're activating those meridians that are based here in our abdomen area that travel through the abdomen. The stomach in particular helps us to digest and absorb all of our experiences. So on a physiological level, the nutrition that we take in, but on an energetic level, all the thoughts and experiences and sensations that we experience are digested and absorbed here in these two organs. Let's be here for another minute. Allow yourself to stabilize and center here. Breathe into the back of your heart space here. If you've had a meal, then this may feel very difficult. So do lift your crown slightly so that you're not compressing your stomach so intensely. If you have your hands available, you can press on your big toe and your second toe. So you know both of these are starting and ending points for the two meridians. One more breath here. And then whichever variation of butterfly you are in, whichever props you're using to support yourself, Inhale to lift your eyebrow center, followed by your heart space, and then move away your props to one side. I'm going to ask you to bring your bolster over to your right side first. Your bolster can either be directly on the earth, or it can be placed on here. I've got mine on my blanket. Have the one end of the bolster right up against your right hip. Let's take our left leg and fold it so that our heel comes near our right hip. The shin of our left leg is parallel to the short edge of your mat. If you have your mat position like me. Your left knee is near your right heel. So you create this zigzag. We're moving into deer pose or rotation pose. So we have our bolster here against the right hip. Lengthen here. As you exhale, turn with your upper body towards your bolster. Place your hands on either side of your bolster or your pillows or whichever construction you've created here. You might have a low footstool with some soft blankets or cushions on it. And then exhale and bring your eyebrow center onto your bolster. Now your option here is that you either bring your right ear to rest on the bolster, or you can have a more intense twist and turn your head away so that your left ear comes to the bolster. That will be a more of a corkscrew twist all the way along the length of your spine. Find your variation of deer pose in this rotation here. And then soften. So take the weight off your lower arms. Release the weight. Allow your bolster, your cushion, your low footstool to hold your body weight. We're going to be here for 3 minutes. By working with our stomach and spleen meridians, it helps us with those more important decisions that we need to make. So by digesting and absorbing all of our experiences, thoughts, information that we receive, we can, based on those, make decisions that are informed, that are guided by what we know, what we receive. So if you are undecided about something or feeling conflicted about an option or a path to choose, practicing yin yoga with the stomach and spleen meridians can sometimes help guide us towards the decision. Let's have 3 more breaths here on this side. And then with your inhale, press firmly into the earth through the palms of your hands and lift up with your crown and your heart, your upper body. Let's turn over to the left to counter twist just for a moment. And then I'm going to ask you to keep this right leg folded in towards you and extend your left leg long. So in Hatha Yoga, this pose is called Janushirasana. In Yin, it's often called half butterfly. So our left leg is extended, our right leg is folded in. We're going to fold over towards our right leg. So again, I invite you to either use your bolster, your pillows or cushions here. So if you don't have bricks like me, you can pile up a cushion and a blanket on either side of your left leg. And then you can place your bolster across so it creates a little bridge. And then you can rest your eyebrow center on your hands. So placing your lower arms and hands on your bolster, you can rest your eyebrow center on there. If that still feels like it's not high enough for you, you can also place a foam block on top of your bolster. So you can see that I created quite a construction here. So I've got my cushions, my blankets, my bolster, and some blocks on top so that my eyebrow center can rest here and that I feel supported. So in Yin Yoga, having lots of options with the props gives our body more support. We can scaffold our physical self. We want to come into our comfortable edge. And the reason we use the props is to help us sustain that edge so that we hold the pose and we are able to be in that place for longer. In that way, we can work at our deeper tissue level. So in Yin Yoga, there's a saying called working with your issues through your tissues. And this is what it refers to, working at a physiological level that's much deeper than Hatha Yoga. Let's have 3 more breaths here in half butterfly over your left leg. And inhale to lift your gaze, lift your heart, and ease back. Now remove some of your props that you've created. This time we're going to place our bolster against our left hip. So again, if you want to have your bolster quite high up, you can place some cushions, a large pillow here against your left hip. Let's take our left leg and fold that in. Take our right leg behind us so that our right heel is near our right hip. Our left heel is near our right knee. Create the zigzag on this side now. And you can see I have my bolster on 2 cushions. Yogi's choice about how high you want your bolster, if you want a bolster at all. So for example, if I wanted to practice without my bolster, you simply move them out of the way. Place your hands on the earth and then exhale and fold down onto your bolster or the earth. You can rest your eyebrow center on your bolster, or you can have your left ear. And if you want to intensify the stretch, you can turn away and have your right ear on the earth or bolster. So you find your variation of deer rotation on this side. Breathe into the areas of compression around your stomach and spleen. So this pose in particular helps to wring out, squeeze out those things that we no longer need. It's like wringing a dishcloth. So with each out breath, perhaps connect with something you wish to release, let go of, some anxiety, worries, repetitive thinking, procrastination in particular here. Restlessness, it's that kind of not being able to settle or stabilize or be constant. Let's have 3 more breaths here. In deer rotation to the left. And then with your in-breath, inhale to lift your eyebrow center. Ensure that you are helping yourself with supporting hands as you rise up. And then let's counter twist over to the right just for a moment. And then back to center. And as you know, what we're doing here, what we do on one side, we do on the other side. So let's extend our right leg long this time. So our left foot is folded in, our right leg is extended here. Doing half butterfly on this side. So for this time, again, you can create your little scaffold or pillows, cushions, your bolster, blankets on either side of your leg, or simply place your large pillow on your leg. I'm going to do a demo without a bolster for this one. So let's turn your heart over to your right leg. And then as you exhale, let's bring our eyebrow center down towards our knee. Even if we can't see our knee here, we know it's there underneath the bolster, the cushion. Breathe into those areas of compression, using your breath to create space. And if you can reach your leg here, you can take this opportunity here to work your fingers along the inside of your lower leg. Knowing that your spleen meridian runs along in here. And as you do that, you'll feel tender points along your inner leg. The different acupressure points, including spleen 6, the sea of nourishment. Let's have 3 more breaths here. Inhale to lift your gaze, lift your heart, and walk your hands back towards your body. Remove your bolsters, your props, whatever you have available there. And then from here, we're going to come onto our knees. Now check how your knees feel here. So remember, if you have any soreness or tenderness in your knees, things to check out for are to roll a blanket underneath your knees, place a folded blanket behind your knees, place a blanket underneath your knees. We're going to come into child's pose here. So let's use our bolster. I invite you to have your bolster or cushion long way so that you have all the full length of your bolster there. So you'll have your blanket where you need it underneath your knees, underneath your ankles, perhaps the inside of your ankles. Let's give some space here, so open your knees And then exhale and fold, bringing your eyebrow center to rest on your bolster here. Your arms can be alongside your bolster, palms face up. You can have your hands on your bolster so that your eyebrow center is resting on the backs of your hands. Or you can have your hands alongside your body, palms face up. 3 options for your arms and hands. Find the option that works for you here. We'll be here for 3 minutes in Balasana, child's pose. And if at any point you want to turn and rest on one ear or the other, you are invited to make any adjustments that you need to bring greater comfort to yourself. Three more breaths here. And then inhaling, pressing with your hands into the earth. Let's rise up and remove our bolster for a moment. We're going to come into a twist here. So check how your knees feel. If you need to release your knees for a moment, you can just bring one leg forward and then rotate your ankle and then bring the other leg forward and rotate your ankle. So let's come onto all fours. We're going to take our knees as wide as our mat. Big toes touching. Place your left hand underneath your heart space and inhale right arm to the sky. As you exhale, thread your right arm behind your left hand and bring your right ear to the mat. We're going to rest here in this twisted variation of child's pose. Your left arm reaches forward, palm flat on the earth. So you're here in this twist with your right arm underneath you, left arm reaching forward. Your sit bones can be very close to your heels or slightly lifted. If you wish to have a sense of connection, you can always place a cushion on your heels so that your sit bones are resting on a cushion. Yogi's choice. Coming to your variation here with either your cushion on top of your heels or no cushion. You also have the option here of having a cushion underneath your right ear so that your head is resting on a cushion. Check that your gap between your shoulder and neck isn't affected. So your cushion, the width of your cushion needs to be that space of your shoulder so that you're not cricking your neck here. So you need quite a low cushion here. So I have a cushion that's the perfect height for this. Let's have 3 more moments here. Walk your left hand back towards your body, pressing into your left hand, rise up, reaching up to the sky with your right fingertips. And then exhale your right hand to the earth, and left fingertips to the sky. So you might want to shuffle your cushion over slightly if you were resting your head on your cushion. Exhale, let's thread that left arm behind our right arm. Bring our head, our left ear to the mat or onto our cushions, and walk our right arm forward so that our palm still remains connected with the earth. And coming into a twist on this side. Focus on your breath. Be mindful in this present moment. You want to maintain a sense of focus and concentration here. The stomach and spleen to help channel, coordinate, direct our thinking, our thoughts, to bring them into a sense of coherence, clarity. So these two organs together help bring logic. They also help us to make decisions, and sometimes the decisions might be risky. It might take courage to make some decisions. So by working on this earth pair, the digest and absorb meridians, decisions we make are informed decisions about the risks we take. We weigh up the pros and cons, and in that we feel empowered to make a decision, knowing that it is a risk, but having the courage to see that through. Three more breaths here. And then inhale, walk your right hand back towards your body. Lift your heart, reach up through your left fingertips, and exhale them back down to the earth. From here, we're going to come into dragon pose. So have at the top of your mat your bolster if you need it. Let's have it at the middle of our mat actually. So this will just depend on what you have as your substitute for your bolster. So we're already on our knees here. So let's bring our knees in hip distance wide. We're going to step forward with our right foot. We're moving into dragon pose. Now our left knee is on the earth. What you might choose to do is place your bolster underneath your left thigh so that your left leg is resting on your bolster or your large pillow. Place the palms of your hand either on the earth. If you choose not to have your bolster there, what you might prefer is to have your bolster or cushion at the top of your mat so that your hands are resting on your bolster instead. You can use different options to see what you have available. So if you have cushions and blankets, you might use cushions and blankets at one place. Have your right foot as wide as your mat, so it's on the outer edge of your mat here. So this is your variation of dragon here. Right foot is forward, left knee on the earth. Your left thigh is either supported by your creation. Your hands are either on the earth, or again, they could be on a low footstool or your bolster. So we're in high dragon for the moment. Let's stay here for a few moments, a few breaths, so you can feel here a deep opening in your right hip flexor. You know that your stomach meridian runs down the front of your leg, so your left leg, the meridian is activated there. You know that your spleen runs down the inside of your leg. So here at your hip flexor on the right leg is a deep, intense activation of your spleen meridian. Let's have one more breath here in this variation of dragon. You now have the option to come onto your forearms. So you come into a low variation of dragon. Your forearms might be on your bolster, on your low footstool, or the earth directly. Yogi's choice, you'll be here for another 2 minutes. And I will time it. This is a challenging pose. Have another minute to go. So you can add some more challenge or a stronger sensation should you choose, and only if you choose. You might choose to remove your bolster from underneath your hands or forearms and come closer to the earth. Or you might decide that's too intense and it's beyond your appropriate edge, then you can ease back and reclaim your bolster. Three more breaths here in your variation. Let's keep our silence. Maintain this introspection without getting caught up in those thoughts and anxieties. Inhale to rise up, coming onto your hands. And then walk your hands back towards your body. And as you do that, you'll extend through your right leg and straighten that right leg out. Lift your toes up towards the sky. That will help release the tension on the hip flexor there. Let's take a moment there. So you might want to come forward and rock back for a moment. Let's bring that right leg back. And we're going to step forward with our left foot this time. So again, bring your left hand on the inside of your left foot as wide as your mat. Now, again, find out by discovery and experimentation whether you prefer to have bolsters or not here. So do you want to have your bolster at your right thigh so that your right thigh can rest on the bolster in that sort of deep diagonal that you have there? Do you want to have both your hands on the earth, or do you want to use your low footstool or your bolster or your substitute for bricks? So whatever you have available. We're all in this high variation of dragon here to start with. Relax your shoulders. Have your gaze towards the horizon or towards the top of your mat. Have length at the back of your neck. We'll be here for a minute or so before we come into low flying dragon variation. Guide your breath into your hip flexors where you're feeling it. Be mindful, press your right big toe and second toe into the mat. So you feel a connection there. You can feel the pressure between your toes and the earth. And now with your next breath, I invite you to explore the option of coming down onto your forearms, either directly onto the earth or perhaps onto your bricks, your low footstool, your bolster variation. And here you can relax and soften the back of your neck, your shoulders, your crown. And this is here where you might feel and appreciate the presence of the bolster or cushion pillow underneath your right thigh. It allows you to be fully supported there. Now take this opportunity to think about your positive affirmation. Perhaps you'd like to be more decisive. Perhaps you'd like to have more clarity. Perhaps you want to find courage to take risks. Perhaps you want to cultivate empathy and understanding of others. We're here for another 30 seconds or so. And remember, at any point you can ease back from your edge and rise up onto your hands and come back into the high dragon variation. You can also decrease the angle of your right leg so that the intensity on that hip flexor eases somewhat. Now, wherever you are, rise up onto your hands and walk your hands back towards your body, straightening through your left leg, and then flex those toes up towards the sky. Feel like you're straightening through this left leg. Perhaps you rock backwards and forwards gently. That might help release the tension. And then let's step back with this left leg and take a moment here. And while you're here, I just want to ask you to sway your hips from left to right. Perhaps you circle here one way, then the other, just as a counter pose. We're going to come down to the earth and we're going to come into a happy baby. So you won't need your bolster for happy baby, so put your bolster away. What you might want to do is have your blanket on the mat, so your blanket is keeping your mat nicely padded. Come onto your sit bones and swing your legs around in front of you. And you can see I'm using this opportunity to have my blanket underneath me. And let's lower to the earth here together. And when you've come down to the earth, So I have my blanket underneath my hips, my lower back here. If that feels strange to you, you can always move it out of the way. So let's hug in our right leg first. Your left foot can be flat on the earth with your knee bent, or you can have your left leg fully extended. Wait before you try out an option with that left leg. Let's see how it goes with your right leg first. So take your right arm to the inside of your right leg and hook your index and middle finger round your big toe. Press your thumb on the toenail of your big foot. So you're hooking your fingers round your big toe. Have a deep bend in your knees. Your left hand can stabilize. So place that on your left lower abdomen, just here on the little bone that is on your hips here. So that will help stabilize this left leg. Lift the sole of your right foot towards the sky and hug in that right knee towards your armpit. So we're in happy baby, half happy baby variation here. Now, if this feels fine for you with your left knee bent, you might want to extend your left leg long and see how it feels with that left leg extended. Gaze up towards the sky. Draw in that right knee down towards the earth, the sole of that right foot parallel to the sky. We're not here for very long. One more breath here. And then release your right toe. Take your right hand to the outside of your right leg and let's cross that right knee across your body. Your left hand comes to help and then bring your left leg to the earth, on your right leg to the earth on the left side. So you're here in a twist. Now, this is where you might want to place your bolster with cushions underneath your right leg so that your right knee is resting on a pillow or a bolster. You'll be on your left hip here pretty much. Try and maintain a connection with your right shoulder and the earth. If it rises a little, matters not. You'll be feeling a twist here across your middle. Maintain that left hand on your outside of your right knee. It helps it to feel more grounded, helps to stabilize. Having a bolster or a pillow underneath that right leg brings the earth up to you, again allowing you to ground. We'll be here for a few breaths. You might allow your eyes to softly close. We're coming up towards the end of our practice now. One more breath here. And then inhale. And let's turn back to center and just hug in that right knee for a moment before bringing your right foot to the earth with your knee bent and drawing in your left knee, giving it a little hug. Then reach through the inside of your left leg and wrap your peace fingers around your big toe. Deep bend in that left knee, the sole of that left foot parallel to the sky. So you have the sensation, and if your elbow can be on the inside or the outside of your knee, see what feels like you have more space. And really draw that left knee down towards the earth, towards your left armpit perhaps. Have your right hand on your right leg so it helps stabilizing it, keeping you grounded there. And if that feels comfortable, you can always extend your right leg long, along the earth. We're here for a few breaths. Keep drawing that knee down towards the earth. And then let's turn our head to the center. And what we're going to do is going to help our left leg across our body so that we can bring our left knee down towards the right side. And again, we might place a bolster or some cushions underneath that knee so that it connects with something to support it. Our right hand is on the outside of our left knee to help ground again. The gaze up towards the sky, or your eyes are softly closed. And breathe deeply into your abdomen. Connecting with your breath. My feet are grounded here. My right leg is resting on the earth. My left leg resting on a cushion. One more full breath here. And then let's release that left knee and bring it back to center. Give it a little hug in towards your chest. And then release your left leg long. We're going to rest here in Shavasana. So your variation of Shavasana is both legs extended. And arms away from your body. You can always go for a constructive rest option, which is your feet flat on the earth, knees bent, and then your knees fall in towards each other. That's quite soothing for the inner hip flexors. If you wish to try that, I encourage you to give it a go. Closing your eyes, sinking into the earth, allowing yourself to feel heavy, supported by the earth. Have the sense that you are in a calm and peaceful state of mind, that your thoughts are tranquil, your breath is at ease. Three full breaths here in constructed rest or Shavasana. Begin to deepen and lengthen each of those breaths. And you can stay here. This is your evening. Or if you would like to rise from here, begin to curl and uncurl your fingers and toes. Maybe you stretch out through your arms and legs. Hug in both your knees. Then roll over to one side. Rest there just for a moment. And then with helping hands, inhale to rise up to a comfortable seat. Perhaps you sit on your folded blanket or your cushion or your block. Maybe you adjust your hair. Ground down through your sit bones, lengthen through your spine. Bring your hands together at your heart center in Namaskar. I trust in myself. I trust in the decisions that I make. I show honest empathy for others. Hands to your eyebrow center. Dhanyavad. Thank you everyone for joining me.